Welcome back to Los Caballeros Sports Village, Fountain Valley, California. Women's quarterfinals. Jessica Gawley serving right down the middle. And a short serve against Courtney Peixoto, making a comeback into women's professional handball. She is. Sister of Emmett Peixoto, Courtney, wearing the yellow shirt.
Point. One zero.
It's supposed to be a break, but the match has been so long, I went right in.
Point.
Best 2 out of 3 to 21, tiebreaker to 11. Referee is Abraham Montijo.
2-0.
Courtney Peixoto taking about 3 years off, maybe 2 years off from professional handball. Used to be one of the former finalists of this tournament. Jessica Gawley's never made the finals of the U.S. Open, but Courtney was in the inaugural year, I believe, against Anna Engel.
Short. Second.
These two were quite the big rivals back in the old days. Jessica Gawley from
Point.
Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada.
1-2.
Courtney Peixoto originally from Watsonville, California.
Point.
Courtney with a nice
2-2.
reverse down the left wall, double bounce. Overhits that one,
Point.
but it's on a crease on that right back wall, and it will oftentimes jump way out there. Jessica's left-handed, so you'll see Courtney hit the ball every now and then over to that right side just to try to see if she can get an advantage. Peixoto has a really big windup.
Side out.
And oftentimes, Peixoto gets fooled on balls hit right directly at her feet because of that gigantic windup that she has.
2 serving 3. At the side out.
That was a strange bounce on that side wall. Ball looked like it could have hit the ceiling, then front wall, and then slid down the right wall. Kind of checked up.
Short.
Jessica looked back like, what happened to that ball? And Courtney just had a big smile on her face. Courtney did tell me prior to this match here that I've been playing just a little bit back home. She now has a baby and she's married, and that's why she took the time off from professional handball, but now you can see she's scoring points just like she always used to do.
4-2. Short.
Women are playing with the USHA Women's 21 ball, the red 21.
Side out.
There's a swing and miss from Peixoto.
2-4.
Jay Gull back in the booth, back in the box.
Point.
She gets a nice left corner kill and a point now at 3-4.
3-4.
A nice kill shot from Courtney Peixoto, gets a round of applause from the crowd there, and a big smile from Courtney.
Point.
Peixoto's
5 serving 3.
Portuguese. Jessica Gawley from Canada.
Second serve.
Gawley is now approaching the age of 40. Been on the tour for quite a long time. Multiple national Canadian champion and national champion in doubles in the U.S.
Point.
She's won pretty much everything you can possibly win except for that big USHA four-wall national title. Courtney looks like
Short.
she's hitting the ball incredibly hard right here. I haven't seen her in a few years, and it's a delight to see her back. But she plays with a huge system. Like, she's played handball a lot in her life, which she has, but it's been a while. There's a miss hit off the back wall from Jessica Gawley. Referee Abraham Montijo.
7-3.
The very first year we held the Simple Green U.S. Open, that was 2006. Courtney Peixoto made the finals that year, but lost to Anna Engel, who at the time was the #1 player in the world.
3 serving 7. Short. Second serve. Point.
Now at 4-7.
4-7. Point.
That's one of the hardest
5-7.
balls to hit when you come back after retiring for a couple years, is that offhand shot that used to be
Point.
a work in progress when you were
6-7.
young, and then all of a sudden you leave the game for a few years and you still realize it's a work in progress. It's
Second
never
serve.
easy to overcome that. Big setup for Jay Gall. Back wall dead center. Dips it into the front wall. Misses that kill shot. And Dave Fink in the booth with us. Dave.
7 serving 6.
Just see one shot from Courtney and you know she's back.
Well, she's been training, Dave. Playing nearly every day in Watsonville with her old crew that she grew up playing with. Alan Sherrill and Jeff Salinas, to name a few.
She's working really fast in the box here, Dave. And I'm telling you, she looks like she has ever looked. I mean, she's a fast worker. And she's just scoring points.
She looks really sharp right now, Dave. I mean,
10-6.
Consecutive ace serves. This is the Courtney that made the finals of the 2006 U.S. Open.
Point.
Yeah, we've been mentioning that.
Okay. We as
Timeout,
in you.
Jessica, that is
Well,
your
I have
first
split personality, so
score,
there's more than one. Only just one of them, though, talked about it. But Courtney Peixoto here jumping out to a big lead. But this is sort of the result that we always saw between these two. Courtney always up about 11-6. It's always competitive. Courtney takes that time off to have a child. She comes back still playing the exact same.
And talk about how she's recovered. Just about 14 months after having a baby, she's already got her fitness back. Not an easy thing to do.
Well, my mom, who's 67, is still having problems with it. You're watching the Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball, WPH Race for 8. This is the women's Race for 8 quarterfinals between Peixoto and Jessica Gawley. Dave Fink alongside yours truly, Dave Vincent. And then we have Little Henry
11-6
in the booth with us, who does not want headsets on. He does not want to be an announcer. But Henry, your dad's got such a great career.
This is Courtney's first ever start on the Race for 8 tour, Dave. 3 events last season she didn't play, but she'll get herself right in the mix, Dave, if she wins this match. A semifinal result will move her into the top 10. And Dave, if she wins this match, she'll play Katrina Casey, who you and I both got to know very well over the summer, and we both know Courtney very well. And we said, wait a minute, this is Courtney 10 years ago. I mean, they've got the same personality.
7-11.
I'm really looking forward to that match should it happen.
Well, Courtney better be in shape if she's going to make it that far. 11-7 here.
We now have Courtney's baby Julian in the booth with us, Dave.
So this has become Kids Are Us, Babies Are Us.
Side
Boots, kids, yes.
Handballs, Babies Are Us.
11-7.
11 serve 7 here. Courtney looks really good, by the way.
Point.
She has a real fast pace in the booth,
12-7.
in the box, Dave. You know, she's getting in there and she's wanting to serve immediately. That shows you that she has a mindset. Luckily for Peixoto here in this game that she doesn't have the same ref that her brother had earlier.
Yeah, that referee cost Emmett at least 3 points just in the tiebreaker alone. But Dave, I think Courtney's hitting the ball harder than I've ever seen her hit it.
No, that's what I mean. She just, something about her leverage, or maybe it's just they're using a lighter ball or something, but
well, I believe, Dave, it's a heavier ball than she used before because the women are now playing with the red 21.
no, I mean it's a lighter ball than what we've been seeing, so maybe it looks like that she's hitting it harder, but she just definitely is hitting this ball hard.
Short.
You know, Courtney's got a unique swing, kind of a stiff arm, but with wrist. She stays with that nicely. Dave, Courtney and Jessica, good friends. Jessica's sort of a mentor to Courtney in her early years on tour. Courtney hitting the tour in her late teens, Dave, establishing herself as one of the top 2 or 3 players about 10 years ago at just about 18 or 19 years old.
Well, the women players will play longer, and they'll also start earlier when it comes to the tour. And this is what I think is wrong with the professional tour. Back in, you know, just years back, you'd see guys like Luis Moreno at the age of 16 try to go to a qualifier or try to play in a pro event. Whether they had success or not, they would try it at a younger age. The women seem to do that very early. 16, 17, they'll go after it.
All right. Contact.
And it's odd to me to see these names like some of those kids that are up in San Jose
The replay.
area that are really good. Sullivan, or even McGrath. Even though they're young, 15, 16, they should be playing in these pro divisions because it's going to send a message to everybody else, and they're also going to learn a lot of things. The message will come back to them.
I thought it was just accidental foot. So
It's frustrating that some of these top players that live in the area will not cross over and play here because, you know, that's really what's going to make them focus. Get to play along with some of the top players. But you see the women do it all the time.
Point.
They'll start young. They'll stay late.
14-7.
Now 15-7.
Dave,
Look how quick Courtney's wanting to get back and serve this. That was not the old Courtney, was it?
It was, yeah. She's serving within 5 seconds of the previous point ending. The average is 9 seconds.
No, this is faster than 5 seconds. I mean, if I was having to play against that, I'd be incidentally tying my shoelace and arguing with the referee, even if he made a good call.
What about your oath? That doesn't apply.
It doesn't apply when you're playing.
Oh, okay.
7-16.
Now Jessica here, 7-16.
Point.
And that ball sliding out.
8-16.
Jessica had a very good season on the Race Freight Tour, also on the Women's Players Cup Tour, 3-wall big ball. And Courtney just taking her apart right now, Dave.
These are the matches, and we've seen them happen to ourselves throughout the years. And you're at that moment now, I would presume. You take a little bit of time off, and you get lapped, you know. But it's not happening to Courtney.
Point.
Right.
She takes the time off.
Timeout.
She comes back
That is
in.
your
Jessica's
second.
been putting in the grunt
Score
hours and working.
17-8.
Jessica has to say to herself, this might be the nail in the coffin for me. I'm not going to put words in her mouth, obviously, but
You always want to pound that nail in the coffin, though. That's your thing.
every now and then there's certain messages that are given to you as a player, and one of them is, this girl just had a baby. Okay.
Well, Jessica just had a baby also.
Right,
She's got 2 kids under the age of 5.
I understand, but Jessica's been on. We've seen Jessica at least 10 times now while Courtney's been away. Jessica was an invite to the Salt Lake City Championships. Courtney, meanwhile, has a baby, you know, and now Courtney comes back and she beats
20
Jessica, who's
seconds.
been, you know, making a comeback herself. It just has to be sort of like, well, maybe my game isn't getting better.
Well, I think it's hard to improve in your late 30s. I think you just got to do the best with what you've got at that point. I mean, you've got the muscle memory of what you've done for your whole life. It's hard to go in and change that and change your whole game.
17-8.
And Dave, would you believe this? Courtney's brother enters the event as the number 2 seed. He's played in every event over the last 2.5 years. Courtney hasn't played in one event, yet she's going to advance farther
18-8.
in her division than her brother in his.
And the moral of the story is,
See, bad bounce. Bad bounce.
Take time off.
have a baby.
Play 18-8.
Well, you're making it sound like having a baby is the end of your life, but
Well,
I think a lot of these women have shown us
have
that
you ever
it's
had
not.
one?
Side out.
I knew you couldn't answer that, so
8 serving 18.
that's why I threw it out there.
Those are
8
your
to 18.
favorite kind of questions.
Well, I just won the argument because of it. There's that familiar
Side out.
dive from
Sorry,
Courtney
that's a point.
Peixoto there. Overacting. And we're going to have a replay of that dive here in just a bit. Not yet. Dave Fink had to leave the booth, but he certainly gets to see that after this
9
game
serving
ends.
18.
So back at the director's satellite fan, please have that queued up, because I'm going to be calling for it here in a minute. Always felt that Courtney had one of the best ceiling
Side out.
games in women's handball. And then I played Katrina Casey in Tucson, and I go, wow,
18-9.
this is very Courtney Peixoto-like. And I told that to Katrina, and she said,
Point.
people keep comparing us to.
19-9.
I said, wait till you watch her play. You'll see why. Little hop serve there. Back to the roof. Back to the roof. She's had some success against Jessica going up there.
Point.
Now we are at 20.
Serving 9.
And there's the first game to Courtney Peixoto. Keep that instant replay queued up. We'll bring it back here as we start game number 2 in about 5 minutes. We'll be back in just a bit. Stick with us. More action at racefor8.com.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't, because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's 1 every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
Here we go. We're gonna make some juice.
It's gonna
You
be
ready?
good.
She's excited. A little bit of kale.
Please don't put this on.
I'm putting it all over the line.
It's wet. It needs something. No, it'll go.
Don't break my juicer. Looks good.
You ready to try it?
Come on, baby.
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
It's okay.
Okay, all right.
They might surprise you.
Hey, she took another sip. You saw it?
Search We Can. for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
At shelters, you'll discover healthy and loving animals just waiting to become a part of your family. Why wait? You can make a difference in the life of an animal. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person and adopt your new best friend today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Get ready for your next barbecue with the Southland's most delicious smoked sausages. I'm Rachel Serrato from Far West Meats. My family has provided quality, delicious meats locally for over 90 years. At Far West Meats, we take pride in serving a mouth-watering variety of smoked sausages, including beef, chicken, and Louisiana hot or mild, and our new products like Red Hots and Chicken Chorizo. Please find Far West Meats products at your local supermarkets, including Albertsons, Smart & Final, Stater Brothers, Superior, Gardinas, Walmart, Food for Less, and Winco.
Far West Meats is proud to be participating in the Simple Greens U.S. Open of Handball, as we have been a part of the Southern California handball community for over 40 years.
Rethink what you know about this Vegas icon. Elevate your expectations at the Stratosphere Hotel, Casino, and Tower. See what's new, up, down, and all around.
Okay. Game 2, 0-0. Side out.
There's another one of those crazy dives from Courtney.
0-0.
All together here, game number 2 after Courtney Peixoto wins game number 1, 21-9 against Jessica Gawley. This is the women's quarterfinal match. The Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball.
Point.
I want to welcome into the booth Hall of Famer John Bike.
1-0.
Who's also the lead ref here.
It's a thankless job, but everything's running smoothly at the moment.
How many fines did you
Side
have to
out.
levy during that Peixoto?
Well, I'm not Roger Goodell. I don't get to
0-1.
just.
Oh,
I'm
I thought.
not judge, jury, and executioner.
Oh, okay,
I will
okay.
run it through my people, though. They generally respect my recommendations.
Well, your recommendation, I wonder what it is after that match. I don't talk bad about refs anymore, so I can't name names, but certainly.
Side out.
Well, much like the NFL, unlike baseball where the union dominates and
1-0.
everyone gets a chance to do the World Series, we are a meritocracy, and we will be taking that into consideration, choosing refs for the bigger matches. That's and I'll leave it at that for now.
Okay. There's a little bit of congestion, no call. And then Jessica Gawley swings and misses. Courtney has really a good ceiling game. John, you've watched her play throughout the years, and
0-1.
she hits this ball that is so sharp, it goes up more toward the center of the roof, and she hits it with so much power that it comes straight down. She'll sometimes overhit the ball like that when it goes to the roof, but that's sort of what she does with this. It's become sort of an unorthodox return for her opponents, even if they're setups.
It's a worthwhile strategy. Especially this is not the easiest back wall this time of day, especially a little bit of sunlight,
1-0.
pretty skylights there.
Well, I used to see her hit that shot, and I thought that she was, overhitting it. And then I saw Katrina Casey do the same thing. I go, do you watch Courtney Peixoto when she was younger? And she goes, no, but I heard a lot about her. You know, I want to see her play.
They are on track. She may get a very good vision of that. She can't because she's playing her quarterfinal match right now in a backcourt. But they will quite possibly be looking at each other eye to eye tomorrow in the semifinal.
Point.
Gawley might have something to say about that.
Jessica's playing game number 2 a little bit different than the first one.
2-0.
Courtney trying to make a comeback. Jessica has already come back from her marriage and babies.
Short.
That's a lot to overcome. Call it a comeback.
Second.
Don't call it a comeback.
Well, she certainly was an invite to Salt Lake City, so she's worked her way there, and then Courtney does that. That hasn't left her game.
0-2.
Yeah, she looks fit enough, and I really don't think you lose the skills. It might take a little practice time to regain them.
Second serve.
Based on where she was at her peak, no reason to think she can't get there again quickly.
She's hitting a hard ball, too.
Point.
Courtney Peixoto was in the finals in year number 1 of the Simple Green U.S. Open, inaugural year of 2006 against Anna Engel.
Side out.
So can you summarize, David, for me and maybe other viewers joining us late, how did game 1 go?
All Courtney Peixoto, a lot of power down the right. Her serves were amazing. She made very little hand errors. It was the Courtney Peixoto, I would say that when she was young at 19 and we were all talking about how good she was, you just saw that shot right there, right corner kill, perfect. Well, that's what Jessica saw in the first game. Was really, really more power than I ever recall her having. And I'm not sure if it's just that I've been watching with the R48 ball and now we're on the 21, or if it's making a louder noise, but something, it seems like she's hitting the ball hard.
2 serves 2.
Also, she has this pace, John. She's getting the serve and she's going immediately. She goes and gets this ball and jumps back into serve really quick.
Well, just by appearance, she does look physically stronger than when she left the game.
I'm impressed.
Some kind of baby hormone stuff, maybe.
2-3.
She looks better than she did when she left. I'm very impressed, and she just seems to have a system as well. So.
Second.
Yeah, you can't unlearn all those lessons she's learned.
First game did go to Courtney by the score of 21-9, so it was not as close as that score indicated either.
Gawley holding her own in the early stages here.
I like that shot. Courtney just fights it off.
Like Gawley willing to go left against right with anybody.
Slide out.
Courtney, though, getting a lot of her points off of ceiling setups. She gets a ceiling shot. Jessica makes the wrong shot, and Courtney ends up getting a point. And that seems to be the difference between what I remember from Courtney from before.
Solid drive there, but to a left-handed player, no problem.
Hold on. Yeah, I think it's shot out.
Now, we've been not too cursed by the slide so far compared to past years, and I think it's a little less humid this weekend than it has been others, but we still got a lot more big matches to go on this court. We have 2 very competitive doubles quarterfinals coming up.
Yeah, and you never know with doubles, just so much stuff going on there.
I think at the last minute it shot out again right there. Shot out.
Saw earlier in the day, very early in the morning, when that sun was coming up and the temperatures were mixing. You know, outside it was getting warmer, inside it was getting cooler. Condensation was building inside. A lot of that stuff was all happening at the same time, and it created a little storm in there. We saw some slides, but it wasn't ridiculous like 2010, where it just became sort of a circus.
Point.
Jessica misses that back wall setup.
Well, poor execution, but also poor selection there. That ball would have had a roll. She hit it directly back on the path Courtney was on.
It was called short. It was short. Yeah, you're right. So Jessica had the back wall set up. She hit it right back to Courtney. Could have gone down the right wall.
Side out.
Some sloppy play from both here.
You can see the other side. If you want to, I don't think it's going to affect the play too much.
The ball is sliding, though.
Go ahead, change him. If the ball's sliding, change him.
That's a good call there. Good interpretation of the interpretation.
We'll play
not
on.
rule
Let's
book.
play on. You're not that bad.
Never mind.
Okay. 3, 4.
Maybe applying general life lessons and letting the women decide for themselves.
The gloves were wet, John, but they were wet on the back side of the glove,
Right.
not on the front. And so he's like, well, it's not really going to affect anything. But
it was nice of him to throw in there. But I mean, if you want to,
well,
going to be a good husband someday.
well, he learned well. That's how you have to do it. He's on the right path.
5, 4.
Jessica Gawley has 5. Courtney has 4.
Cross court, not quite catching that right side wall though. There's a better shot.
Side out. Four, serving 5.
You're watching the Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball. That ball's being
I called
appealed.
it short. Both agree.
And WPH Race for 8, stop number 1 for the women. I had to think about that. This is the first stop of the season, and I'm having to think already, John. This is not good.
The math only gets more complicated.
I actually have to start doing addition and subtraction from this point forward. We're at 0 here, basically.
That's a difficult concept to teach.
5, 4.
Oh,
Very
nice.
smart shot there.
Nice paddle shot
Side
from
out.
Courtney, who has that familiar smile on her face.
Well, it was accidentally lower than she was aiming, but she had that whole alley. Anything
4,
down
5.
the right wall would have been good enough.
Point. 5, 5. Short.
And talking to Charlie Shanks after his match,
Second.
asking him why he did not go for that power serve when he was playing Emmett earlier, because as soon as he went to it, it was obviously a total different. But he said, you know, I did. I wanted to.
5.
But when I went in there, I noticed I was so tight. My legs were so tight when I went into the warm-up. He goes, I felt great after my match last night. Felt great when I woke up this morning. But when I got in there, something tightened up. And I decided to do something different. And then he worked out those kinks. And
6, 5.
you're wondering, and the reason why I'm bringing it up is how much of that does someone like Courtney feel? I mean, she hasn't played a pro handball match in a couple years. Is she going to feel that when she wakes up tomorrow morning, if she wins this and goes on to the semis?
I think she could have gotten away if things continue to go as they did in the first game. But yeah, she's being extended right now, and you got to figure she won't recover as well as she used to if this becomes a competitive match. If Gawley's saying it won't matter anyway, she'll be.
Point.
'cause
Timeout.
Gawley
That
intends
is your
to be in that
first
match tomorrow.
score is 8, 5.
Jessica Gawley seems to always be in great shape, so it doesn't really matter to her. She's does those Tough Mudder Ironman, festivals where she'll be running 50 miles and biking 50 and swimming 10 meters or whatever it is.
Oh, that's all fine and nice, but it's not as hard as a handball match.
Well, of course. But she's kind of got her body tuned to go into some type of agony. Now you see the talk between her brother, Emmett. Courtney's getting some advice there.
Can't do better as a coach. Emmett doing a lot, helping a lot of players up in the Bay Area right now. Certainly knows how to find areas of improvement and work.
Now, I spoke to Yvonne August a couple weeks ago, and pretty much every month leading up to this tournament, and she said that she was going to go on to the women's tour again, give it a run at it. She's been playing a lot of handball, and yet she didn't enter this tournament.
This would have seemed like the most convenient one for her. Where are the other stops?
New York, a little bit farther away, of course. There's going to be a stop in some other place, and then some other place after that. So, no, San Francisco's definitely going to have
there
one.
you go. Maybe that'll be her debut.
And then she'll be in Salt Lake City if she would make it that far. Of course, that's this year going to be an open tournament for women. And I'm surprised that your wife, John, is not also one who would enter. A couple years back, I recall she entered and won a round, and she was going to be an elite player and was before an injury.
Well, it's with all the Alvarado, that's truly family first.
Point.
Got a lot of other things on her plate.
9-5.
Well, she needs to have somebody take some of the items off the plate for 1 hour, once a day.
She's spending that hour and more in other various forms of exercise.
Wow. An hour or more.
More
than an hour?
You count driving time.
Oh, well, driving time. Excellent. Bravo. Look at that power right there.
Hold it.
Another slide, huh?
Slid.
That wasn't a hold it, that was a hold it.
5-9.
Right wall getting wet. No doubt about it.
Point.
Courtney looks like she has a lot more power this time around than before.
6-9.
I think it's like, you know, I give birth, I can do that, I can hit this ball harder.
That's got to be a confidence booster.
Point.
That ball just clipped the sidewall late, and Jessica knew that it could have done it, and she was watching really eagerly if that ball was going to hit that sidewall. John, you say that you have to set up for both shots? The one that goes down?
Well, in that particular case where you really couldn't have told for sure, I'd be ready for either. I mean, an experienced player does generally know which one it's going to hit first, but that was one of those just be on your toes and ready.
Side out. Nine 7.
Score here, Jessica 9. Courtney Peixoto 7.
Point.
That's a long swing and a terrible miss hit from Peixoto.
10-7.
Thing about Jessica is she's just going to stick in there and keep grinding out points.
Minus the fireworks, this is starting to take the pattern of the previous match in this court. I actually don't know any details about that match, except that when I left, Peixoto was up, Emmett was up about 19-5 in the first game.
Yeah, he closed that one out. About.
Yeah.
There's a slide.
About 21-10, but nonetheless, the second game he got 15, but it was really the score wasn't indicative. Charlie played really well in that second game. But 6 really horrible calls from the referee, and they were going both ways too, with no consistency. The only consistent part was when the referee would make a call, you were like, oh no, here we go.
10-7.
A little different than Danny Bell. Probably Danny earlier today as a referee called some good quick calls, but they were just too quick. This referee was actually calling things that just I have not ever seen before.
It's not good to hear.
7-10.
And came in as a well-respected, highly regarded referee.
But as I'm making the comparison, there's a lot besides that referee. The worst this ref has done is said, I'll do whatever you want to do on the glove change.
Which I contend is a good thing.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I'm just saying that's the worst thing he's done, and that's probably a good sign. Here, though, you're seeing about the same sort of scoreline between Courtney and what her brother did, Emmett, in the earlier round.
What the Peixoto clan has to be a little worried right now.
Point.
Meanwhile, on the overflow flat screen 50-inch TV that's being utilized over in the alternative WPH broadcast booth that we have,
Quite a crowd gathered there.
Katrina Casey is watching, or was watching, Courtney warm up, but she was getting ready for her match. So there's a lot of scouting going on.
She might be watching the wrong person.
Point. 12-8.
Overhit.
Point.
Courtney, you can tell her legs are getting a little tired here. Not able to make that adjustment. No timeout call from her. 13-8, game number 2.
13-8.
Should be a setup. Courtney doesn't play it that way.
Slide out.
Jessica should
8
feel no
serving
pressure
13.
to try and go for bottom board right now. She's just generally doing most things better. Just to worry about not beating herself. Courtney's
Point.
very comfortable with that right-handed dump shot.
She's executed every one of them.
9-13.
Surprised to see Jessica serve everything to Courtney's left.
I was going to say the same thing, but about Courtney's serve to Jessica.
That's what I meant. I think I flipped their names around. But yeah, Courtney serving to Jessica's left. She's been able to get some aces to the right. But for some reason, she, I think, likes the return that Jessica gives her.
She might need to rethink that, like you say. She's been in the
13-9.
box plenty of times, but has only 9 points to prove for it. Show for it.
Well, whatever they're supposed to say, that's what you were trying to say.
A little early in the day for me to be getting tongue-tied.
What was that?
Oh boy.
That goes on to the slop reel there.
14-9.
It's 14 now to 9 with Jessica Gawley in the lead, trying to force a tiebreaker here.
No. Second serve. Side out.
Even accidentally going in.
Well, she's accidentally executed about 4 times already. About 3 times good, 4 times not so good, but still made it. Short ball.
Second.
Courtney Peixoto.
I'm sorry.
Her second serve has always been that underhand lob. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
That's a good observation, but Peixoto was comfortable with that. That's actually a part of my game now, the make believe I'm getting lucky as I'm scoring points.
Oh, yeah.
If you're playing people with a certain mindset, a certain ego, it really wears on them. Maybe that's what Courtney's doing. Twice she's apologized for dump kill shots.
Yeah, that could work into the psyche just a little bit. Those players can just fold really quick when they think that, well, you know, I understand luck and I understand how Vegas works, and you're in one of these roles, and I'm smart enough to know just to quit.
Yes.
Has not gotten that effect off of Jessica yet, but that's.
She keeps trying.
I have seen it work before.
9-14.
Could have been called short. Maybe just an optical illusion. No
Side out.
appeal there from Courtney Peixoto.
Well, it's possible she's just forgotten that tournaments have linesmen.
Well, she appealed earlier. Ball does not make the front wall, and Jessica Gawley gets another point.
Quite a few turnarounds today where the winner of the first game. Okay, they're going to replay that.
Yeah, okay.
It's tough after you see 20 shots and then it's replayed on a slide that took place immediately, and both line judges saw it. So why can't we have a system where the line judges just immediately say stop?
It would just be earth-shaking. It's crazy talk.
Push a button. They do it on Jeopardy.
It's crazy talk.
That's been on the
Courtney's right down the right again. Because what if the linesman's wrong? Anytime you stop a rally, you can't undo the damage.
But isn't it terrible to watch 30 shots and then it all gets...
30 would be terrible. I don't think I've ever seen that.
30's a lot more than you think, probably, but these long rallies end on
10,
a
14.
replay that everybody in the house saw, except for even the two women players talked about it before. They both agreed before they even appealed.
Second serve.
Oh, that was a nice kill
Side
shot
out.
there from Jessica Gawley.
She's going the other way, not apologizing, walking up like she meant it.
14-10. Short.
John, have you
the line.
done the opposite of that?
One agree, one
Apologize for
disagree.
these shots
You
where
got
you
second
did
serve.
the opposite, where you started yelling at yourself about how bad you are when you make the actual good shots. That also works in the favor of getting your opponents riled up just a little bit.
I've not known at all for self-talk on the court. What happened there?
Well, no, that's just a typical Courtney dive. We're actually created a blooper reel. Before the match started, I said, you are going to come back with some of the best material you've ever seen. And we've already got 3. Let's go ahead and cue that one that we have up here, Chris,
Ryan,
from earlier.
If you guys want, he can wipe down the right wall
During
really
this
quick. You guys want
wipe
that?
down session, I know, John, we do have it. And if we have that replay that I told the booth to capture, we could play it now for you. This is...
You want to take 30 seconds just...
So Abe clearly wants them to wipe the walls, but he wants them to think it's their idea. He goes, if you want, you could wipe down the right wall.
I like that approach.
That's how I finally got the
Here it is. Here's that dive from early. Now watch this rollover on the arm, and then to try to jump up like they do in the movies, and there it is.
Not much, but it's worth a shot if you guys want. If not,
only if you want.
we could just play on.
Or just play on.
Wow, that's good.
About
You're
2
right.
months
He
ago,
will
I
make
took
a
that
good...
I took that same approach for
All
that
right.
Keurig
15-10.
coffee maker I've always wanted. And sure enough, 2 weeks ago, it was Lupita's idea, and now we've got one.
It's just UPS delivered it. Crazy how that works. Oh, and that ball just hits the ground, checks up, slides down.
16-10.
16 now.
Jessica forgetting that there is a back wall.
Well, applying the pressure didn't hurt her. Except for the lost opportunity.
Now 17-10 in favor of Gawley.
So how many first game winners have actually lost the match on this court
17-10.
today?
Well, it's starting to become, all the tiebreakers have definitely been that way.
Second. Point. Timeout, that's number 2.
That used to be a trend of that
18-10.
97% of the time when you win the first game, you won the match. Not in this
97.
tournament.
Yeah, because it only takes a few per. I mean, we've had 2 on this court already.
Yeah, well, that 97 won't even happen for the year now.
So like 60 or so would have to go the other way for that to get to that 97%.
Courtney Peixoto versus Jessica Gawley. You see Courtney's mom directly behind Courtney there wearing the pink. Can't you tell? They look identical. Mom played handball there too in Watsonville, California. Courtney's baby is going to try to climb into the court and steal the show here. Look at that little cute thing.
Once he gets in there, he will not
No,
willingly get out. So
No,
they know better than to let him on that floor.
Well, that's because handball is so infectious.
I witnessed it myself in an earlier round match. Had a 1-minute timeout turned into a 4-minute delay. I guess these days you're not allowed to pick up a child and put him somewhere. It's got to be their idea.
All right, time is in.
Well, that's how Abraham's looking at it.
You know he's doing it, but Julian is a boy.
18,
I guess
10.
the young age though gives him that preferred status.
Courtney has that big windup, and it just doesn't help her on shots like that that come straight down off the back wall. Get that perfect timing. 19-10.
I expected, hey, we can replay that if you want from the ref there, but it didn't happen. Boy, Gawley just in total control right now.
20, serving 10.
Jessica just a point away from pushing this one right to a tiebreaker. Courtney wins the first one. Jessica comes back here in game number 2. Looks like she's going to take
second
this one to force it into game 3. Women's quarterfinal match here. Southern California. Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball, and we're really seeing some good stuff today. A lot of upsets and
reversals. This could be the third in a row. It's kind of really looking that way right now, which means we would need 97 straight first game winners to come through and seal the match to keep that stat going. Ooh, there's a nice avoidable.
Can a referee call that even if the player doesn't get hit by the ball?
By the book, yes, because she could have influenced the shot, but nobody called it till they actually see it. Uh-oh.
Is she hurt, or is that just out of steam there? Courtney Peixoto losing game number 2, and Jessica Gawley is now going to...
I have an idea. Let's wipe the court. So once again, Abe's strategy works.
We're going to take this 3-4 minute break. We'll be back in the booth here in about, I'd say, 4 minutes as we get ready for game number 3 between Courtney and Jessica. Race48.com. Thanks for tuning in.
Listen now, can you hear the bluebirds? Oh, look up now, can you feel the sun? Whoa, 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 whoa. Can you feel the sun?
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't, because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
Courtney, where's Jess? Oh, never mind. You guys ready?
I wanted to download that.
We are back at Los Caballeros Sports Village in Fountain Valley, California here for game number 3. Courtney Peixoto up against Jessica Gawley. As Courtney will get that first serve because she scored 10 in the second game. Jessica only scored 9 the first one, so that's what happens. That's why we here in the tiebreaker are going to see Courtney in that service box. The winner goes to the semifinals. Headset on, talking, can't hear.
She needs to take advantage of that first serve because right now things are going in Gawley's favor. She has to turn it around as soon as possible. I don't know why I just thought of this, David, but I'll get on with it after this rally.
Point.
A very okay. So that she gets the first. She gets the first point. Not she got it. She gets it. I'm thinking of that because of who we were just dealing with a minute ago. A very wise man who used to host our Cadillac handball instructional event of the year in Durango, David Farmer, has this theory that 98% of the people in the world are morons. I don't know why I just thought of that, but just like oblivious to the fact.
But it's true here at the booth.
There's a live broadcast here and someone just decides, hey, it's time. I saw a guy knock your beer over before. Well, no, I mean knock your soda over before.
Yeah, they don't drink.
And then
adult beverages.
Second serve.
Just, hey, there's Dave Benson. I think I'll just
knock all of his drinks over on top of everything. Yeah.
Be boisterous
so
and
far,
chat him up
you're
for
right.
a while.
We're talking about 97% of the people who win the first one win the match or whatever the whole stat was.
I feel more confident about this observation.
But this observation is actually one that might be real, other than that fake one that was made up. That looked like it was short.
Appeal, I called it good.
I thought it was 3 inches
Both
short.
agree.
Oof.
1-0.
But he's totally flustered. He just called the score 1-0. Get a little bit of guff.
When you've got 3 points on the scoreboard
Second
and
serve.
you're saying 1-0, you've been taken out of your game.
Hold it. One, two. Second serve. 2 serves coming. 2 serves. First serve.
But you're right about that moron thing. We've actually seen more morons today than any other day, and I think we've handled it pretty darn good.
You've been exemplary. That used to
remember the
momentarily rattle you, but
Slide out.
you've just been.
It's like I've cherished
pro today. It's kind of enjoying it, embracing it.
Yeah, I've realized, and I've told Dave Fink this too, who also has the neurosis of a wasp that just got sprayed with mace, who's also got
Welcome back, by the way.
second headset on. Oh, I didn't even see you there. Sorry.
I wasn't surprised to hear you complimenting yourself
3-1.
as I walked in here.
Well, we were discussing an observation from a renowned physical therapist in southwestern Colorado.
Side out.
Actually, 98% of people are just morons.
1-3.
I think you might go up on. You might think it's a higher number than that, judging by your observations.
Well, it's
of
only
people.
75% in this booth, but
Out of 3, how does that work?
Yeah.
Well, we have split personalities here. There's more than that.
There are actually a sample size of about 6 in this booth right now.
Side out.
Here we are in the breaker.
It just went up.
Consecutive airs there. One from Courtney and followed up with an air from Jessica. What happened there in that
3-1.
second game, Dave? Courtney cruised there in game
She
number
looks like
1.
she got tired, a little like her legs got heavy, and
Yeah.
Jessica played consistent, and she's still going to get this ball back.
Side out.
You know, I hate to make it about me, but that happened to me 3 times on these courts where I just turned and fell down, and that's never happened to me before ever. So there has to be some condensation
Hold on.
that's causing that. I saw that happen
There's a wet spot right there.
to a couple of other players earlier today.
Well, we've seen Courtney just look like her legs got heavy.
I didn't see feet slide that time. Just kind of
trip.
Yeah, tangle up, not go the direction she intended.
I think that's just, some of that tournament play. You're doing some things that you haven't done lately. Not to say that she can't pull us out. She's in the lead right here, 3-1. But if you're going to ask me what I felt happened in the second game, she just kind of like the tournament caught up to her there. But now having that extended break, coming into the timeout, she seems to be a little bit more refreshed. And if she uses her timeouts correctly here, I can see her staying fresh. That's a nice shot right there from the lefty.
I thought that was a good shot from Courtney, a 2-wall shot, but right into Jessica's wheelhouse, and she found the left corner.
2, serving 3. Point. 3, serving 3.
Punishing drive there to get even another setup.
So athletic there, Jessica.
Yeah, but both of these women are
And that's
catching up
the
to
offhand
every
there.
one of these shots there.
Point.
Beautiful rally there for Jay Gall.
And the first lead here.
4, serving 3.
Each time we've seen Jay Gall on the webcast in the last year, she's been playing Katrina Casey, so it's very difficult to look good against someone that's so good. But here we're starting to see all of Jay Gall's talent. And there's a lot of
Is that a compliment? Only because she's not playing Katrina?
Well, it's like playing Paul Brady. I mean,
good
there's the back.
Point. Timeout.
And Dave, that was one of 5 great dives that we've seen from Courtney, but we have Chris Garrad in our broadcast van. He's got it queued up. Here, this one, can it top this one? And hopefully Chris can give us a replay from game number 1.
Courtney's the only person I've ever seen dive that ends up with her feet facing the back wall.
And her head on the ground. And here's the first one. Now watch this. And watch the head, feet. It's just,
perfect.
That was the sort of like, I'm going to do a Vin Diesel jump back to my feet.
Yeah.
It didn't quite work out the way she wanted. That was just number 1. We've got 5 before that that were just remarkable.
A telltale sign about her fatigue. She did not attempt that recovery on that most recent one.
She just decided to stay there and call a timeout. So you can tell there's things that are. Let's take a look at that last one if we can during this timeout. Now,
maybe split screen the 2 of them.
Yeah. All 5 are great though. I mean, the one that happened 2 times ago, I thought it was even better than the first one. They're getting better. Oh, watch this, Dave, here.
Is this the blooper reel or the highlight reel?
This is the blooper. It's a highlight.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you tell the director, we have to log all these dives. Now, watch this on the back.
No recovery at all.
That one is just, I'm just going to wait. I'm not.
All right, time's in. The
Okay,
score is
timeout.
5-3.
Timeout. That's a smart move, that timeout there. John, you played in events before where you dove for a ball and you were down there and you said, you know what? I felt so bad this whole tournament, but this is the best I've ever felt right here laying on this ground. I'm just going to stay here, you know? Something about it.
It's clean, soft, warm floor.
Yeah, sweat all over it.
Side out.
Courtney's brother, Emmett, of course, told me during the second game that Courtney's the only women's player that hops the ball. Wow, what a shot.
I did see her hop some serves.
For her to break a few of those out right now. She's going to need some fast points.
6-3.
I certainly saw her hit some hop serves in the first game on her serve, which she looks so amazing on that first game. But it's just she's just, I think, out of gas here.
3-6.
And if she's tired now, and if she were to make it against Katrina, she'd find out really quickly you better be in the best shape of your life. Jessica never seems to get tired. In fact, I don't know if she's ever been, that I recall.
Good shot there.
Jessica has a knack, Dave, maybe more so than any player on any of the tours, of playing really close matches.
At your fingertips there, you have the actual win-loss percentage of matches decided by less than 3 points for Jessica. Can you look that up for us, please?
Well, if you're including Women's Players Cup Big Ball, which I think you probably will, she's got 5 matches decided by 3 points or less.
That's this year, you mean?
Yeah. Yes, since January. Unfortunately for Jessica, she's ended up on the short end.
Of how many of those?
All 5.
Oh, that's not good.
And there is another point now for Courtney Peixoto. Ties it at 6. And that's a smart timeout from the veteran Jessica Gawley, who sees a momentum changer here. Courtney Peixoto might exit the court here. Sean Lenning helping with that door. Sean was exited in the men's elite in the round of 16 yesterday when Charlie Shanks took him out. Charlie, if you look at it, if he were to win this tournament, he'd have to go through Sean Lenning, then Emmett Peixoto, and then a Paul Brady, and then a Naughty or a Luis Moreno. That's one hell of a tournament when you look at it.
Well, he's done that time and time again, particularly on this court, where every time there's an event held here, he makes the finals. He's in the last 2 U.S. Open finals in which he's played, and also the national final here in 2012. Beat Luis Moreno in a couple of those events.
Time's in.
You know, you have to, have a career tournament when you come to this U.S. Open of handball. Not only are you beating one, but you're beating some of the best players you've ever beaten, but you have to do it in consecutive days. And it's not just the men, but the women are finding it out too. Here's a quarterfinal match between 2 that you would see on the Pro Tour finals.
Oh, bad luck there for Courtney. You'd have to call that, Dave, a methodical rally.
I was just going to say, who's going to break first? Who's going to strike first? But I guess it was the ball meets side wall strikes first. And they're back into it again. Both of these players are up and back, and Courtney is the first one to go after it, and she gets it.
Jessica turned what was a big setup into a setup for Courtney.
A lot of side outs here. Big overhit on that serve. Now that, I think Courtney would trade some of those underhand flubs that went for the one she just missed, John. That's the first one that we've seen her miss. Oh, I like that.
Oh, and she got the sidewall crack.
That was sneaky.
Well, excellent athletic effort and concentration to get her hand on the ball. And you kind of make your own breaks, I guess, because then it just cracked off the sidewall.
7-6.
We're going to 11. Winner will advance to the semifinals to play, presumably, Katrina Casey, if the seeds hold true.
That match is over. I haven't heard. The result hasn't come back to the...
Well, I saw Katrina walk by with a huge plate full of fajita and
8-6
from the barbecue, and I'm assuming that's sort of a victory dinner just by the way she looked.
I don't think I've ever been in an event she lost of games, so I don't.
No,
I wouldn't know what the other looks like.
I have been at an event where she lost.
Point.
To me in practice.
9-6.
9 serve 6.
And Dave, isn't this eerily similar to what happened to her older brother?
Well,
we were discussing that in the second
you always
game,
seem to walk in and say the same things we've talked about, but I guess we have new viewers now, so.
That's true.
Slide out.
That happens a lot on our three-way Facebook threads that you usually leave, Dave.
Well, I only just read the last message and not realizing that people
6 serving 9.
have completely detailed it out. Well, they know that I'm reading, so they detail everything out so I won't miss it because they know how I am, and then I don't read it.
I was referring more to that you usually leave them.
I haven't left in a while, have I?
No. My memory bank goes back pretty far. Oh.
Point.
This is the time that you're talking about.
7-9.
Really, Courtney's best shot here is that Jessica's close match record is lodged in that subconscious somewhere, and there's another one.
And, you know, going all the way back to 2006, John, Jessica Gawley lost to Anna Engel 11-10 twice in the finals in tiebreakers. So she just doesn't seem to be able to get over the hump in these close matches. Oh, that was a big back wall setup.
Exactly.
Slide out.
And Courtney just misplayed that. She had the opportunity to take it either off the bounce or off the back wall, and she got caught in between and just had no play.
Score is 9-8 here.
Oh.
Ooh, that's tough to call. Referee didn't see it. He just took her word for it.
9 serving 8.
Safe thing to do. Oh no.
That's where the circle on the score card supersedes that other circle that you put earlier, Dave.
Consecutive back wall errors for
Yeah, but that was the one that gets her out of this box. And there it
3
is,
in a
game
row.
over.
Good match. Good match.
And there's a big hug between the two. Jessica Gawley defeats Courtney. And in some sense, you would have to say Courtney's probably pretty happy with herself here. She's out of steam. She's out of gas. I mean, you can tell the difference. Remember, in the first part of the first game, she just had this pace. That was something we've not seen in so long. And she loses here to Jessica Gawley. And somehow the camera just loves the Peixotos. You know what I mean? She loses, and yet we're still following her around and talking about her. But Jessica Gawley's really the victor here. And she will face Katrina Casey tomorrow in that semifinals of the upper bracket. We have another great match coming up right around the corner. We want you to stick close. More handball action coming up next here at racerate.com. Stick with us.
Get a remarkable clean with non-toxic and biodegradable Simple Green All-Purpose Cleaner. Use straight from the bottle on heavy grime or dilute the concentrated formula to make up to 44 bottles of daily cleaner. Safe for all washable surfaces, Simple Green can be used indoors and out. From kitchens and bathrooms to living and play areas, countertops and floors to furniture and clothing. Keep your home and our world clean with Simple Green.